Have you ever met someone who seemed almost too quiet, too thoughtful, too comfortable sitting alone with their own thoughts? What if that wasn't a personality flaw, but actually a window into how an extraordinarily intelligent mind operates? Because here's what psychology research actually reveals about people with extremely high IQs, and it might completely change how you see intelligence itself. We have this cultural image burned into our heads: the genius who dominates every room, rattling off answers, impressing everyone within earshot. But cognitive psychology paints a completely different picture. Exceptional intelligence tends to show up quietly, in subtle daily behaviors that most people would never connect to raw intellectual power. So let's walk through what's actually happening inside these minds. The first thing you'll notice about genuinely high IQ individuals is how much time they spend alone and how completely fine they are with it. This isn't shyness or social anxiety. Their prefrontal cortex, the brain region handling complex planning and deep reflection, essentially needs quiet to operate at full capacity. Research from the London School of Economics actually found that people with higher intelligence report lower satisfaction from frequent social interaction compared to average. Their brains are running complex internal processes that social noise interrupts. Connected to this is something that never switches off in these people: relentless curiosity. Not just about grand philosophical questions, but about tiny everyday mysteries. Why does this system work that way? Why did that person react like that? Their brain is constantly hunting for patterns, and curiosity becomes the engine that drives everything. Here's one that surprises people. High IQ individuals often talk to themselves, and psychologists have a name for it: self-directed speech. It turns out this habit actually improves focus and strengthens working memory. When you see someone quietly narrating their own thinking process, that might be one of the most honest displays of an active, high-functioning cognitive system you'll ever witness. Now pay attention to this one, because it flips conventional wisdom on its head. Truly intelligent people are comfortable saying, "I don't know." This connects directly to something called the Dunning-Krueger effect, where people with limited knowledge tend to massively overestimate their own expertise. People with genuinely high IQs tend to run in the opposite direction. They're acutely aware of how much complexity exists beyond what they currently understand, and that awareness keeps them intellectually honest. Their analytical engines also create something that looks like a weakness from the outside: overthinking. An intelligent brain rarely idles. Those same cognitive processes that crack complex problems will also dissect a casual conversation or replay a minor decision 17 different ways. It looks like indecision. Internally, it's a brain simultaneously running multiple mental models, stress testing each one before committing. This one genuinely surprises people. High IQ individuals tend to have sophisticated senses of humor. Humor is actually cognitively demanding. Your brain must recognize established patterns, then violate expectations in a clever way, then connect ideas that seemingly have no business being together. Studies published in intelligence research journals have found measurable correlations between higher IQ scores and advanced humor processing. Funny people may be showing you their processing power without realizing it. Think about how many of these behaviors we fundamentally misread. Someone who prefers solitude gets labeled antisocial. Someone who changes their position when presented with new evidence gets called inconsistent or weak-willed. But that flexibility is precisely what cognitive science identifies as a hallmark of advanced problem-solving. Holding beliefs like flexible models rather than fixed identities is a sign of intellectual strength, not uncertainty. Many high IQ individuals also report that their minds come alive at night. Some researchers connect this to cognitive flexibility and how more adaptable brains navigate non-traditional rhythms differently. Whether evolutionary or neurological, late-night thinking sessions appear unusually common among people scoring at the high end of intelligence measures. Watch how these people behave in group conversations, and you'll notice something striking. They observe first. They scan social dynamics, read emotional undercurrents, gather information before ever opening their mouths. What looks like passivity is actually pattern recognition operating at a social level. And underneath everything else runs this constant quiet search for meaning. Not dramatic philosophical declarations, just a persistent background question about why humans think and behave the way they do. What purpose connects everything? What patterns explain the deeper structure of relationships and society? Here's the real takeaway from all of this. Intelligence, at its most powerful, has almost nothing to do with showing off what you already know. It's about how your brain processes the world, how it stays curious, how it stays flexible, how it keeps asking better questions. The quietest person in the room might be running the most sophisticated mental operation anyone there will ever encounter. And maybe that's the most fascinating thing psychology has ever revealed about the nature of human intelligence itself.